editing, everything you see here is all Dal. She does everything. And something, so our Shred You community, something we've been teaching a lot of recently and been working, I mean, just around the clock on is Shred You. Shred Media, of course, is our parent company, but Shred You is actually our community that we built to help mortgage professionals, real estate professionals, entrepreneurs grow their brand using social media. And it's not overcomplicating it. You don't need a photo editor. You don't need a video editor. I know people are like, well, you have one. I'm like, sure, it's different. We put content out at scale, but to really grow a brand, you just need to be showing up. And that's what we teach. We give content calendar, we give everything. We'll talk about it later, but
we can start talking about it now. I mean,
yeah.
here's the thing. So let me tell you what I've been thinking about for the last few days. And Don and I actually have a tremendous amount of content. Like we have all this content, but sometimes it's a little overwhelming to be like, what little piece do I put out and where do I put it? Do I put it on Instagram? Do I share it on Instagram and Facebook? Do I put it on LinkedIn? And it's like, no, on LinkedIn, I want my business stuff. On Instagram, I want my personal stuff. On Facebook, I want stuff about my kids. And so am I right or wrong to think that each one of these social platforms can be a different identity of mine? And not necessarily, like, some might be more personal and some might be more business.
Wait, before we do this, anybody who's on the call who for some reason might not know who our awesome guests are here, we have Josh Pitts with Shred Media, his right-hand team member, Dal, Don and Gino here. We have Sonia in the background and some of our team on the call. And Josh is an integral part of Momentum Builder since day one. He was an inspiration. As we developed this, he's like, I am in, our industry needs it, and anything I could do to help make it something to help impact more of our industry, then I'm in. And you've been an integral part in pushing us to where, remember, we started with 100 people at a little Burbank Airport hotel, and now we're here in Vegas, gonna put together a 600 person. That's we're going to limit it at, by the way.
That's it, capped
600. Not we're not, because we want to intimate with just the guns. And if you're not a gun, don't show.
I like it.
And you do make it your medium shirts look good. That's all you, buddy. Dal can't do that.
I'm working on it.
You know, Dal, every once in a while she has to make these mediums look all right on me. So, but first and foremost, thank you guys. It's been an honor working with you guys over the past few years, and looking forward to 2024. Going to be bigger and better than ever, more momentum, helping this community. And that's why we're here today. Is literally, it's all about community. And that's what we were talking about. And what I want to focus on today is social media. And Gino couldn't have set the stage. That was not planned. The question Gino actually,
it's my real problem.
Literally, like, this is a problem for so many people. I was on a cross country call prior to this as well, and literally, it's amazing how many people struggle with your question that you just asked, Gino. And I tell everybody this: you shouldn't be dividing your platforms. Like, really, there's some people like, oh, well, I want to keep Facebook for personal. I want to do Instagram more business. I want to do LinkedIn more business. I want to do YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Forget all that shit. Like, it's so and again, I'm just going to I'm going to speak directly to Gino here, but to all of you, literally use these platforms. And I tell people this too, that you hear the Gary Vaynerchuks of the world saying, you need to be on every platform, posting 10 times a day. You need to be everywhere. That's impossible. Like, you will literally suffer social media burnout. I've seen it. It's happened to us. If you try to do that, you will literally become burned out. It will become more of a job for you than anything. Social media is designed to be something that we enjoy. We share our journey. We share our lives. We share these personal, intimate experiences with our communities, because think about it. Like, take a step back real quick. All of us, whether you're a mortgage, real estate, entrepreneur, sales, whatever you do, whatever career you're in, you're trying to build a relationship with your client, with your customer, with your consumer. Building a relationship is an intimate thing. Think about the mortgage transaction or even the real estate transaction. It's a very personal thing. Mortgages, you're getting to know their income, their family, their job. Like, you get to know so many things. Why would you not want to share your background, your life, basically the behind the scenes of Gino, of Josh, of Don, whoever, with your community? Why share it on just one platform too? Why just post the family stuff on Facebook or business stuff here? No, use them all. Now, I will, I guess, give a little bit of a caution on that. LinkedIn, you probably don't want to go share all your drinking like stories with your buddies and that type of stuff, because people are like, whoa.
Now what do we put, Gino?
Yeah, but at the same time,
I thought we had content. Now we have no content.
yeah, I say we just cut your guys' content about a third. So, but that's okay.
There's other platforms for that.
But
Yeah,
actually, I'm gonna touch on this real quick, Josh,
Okay.
because so I made a commitment on my socials to be more personal,
Love it.
to let people see into who I am. And I think it's because of all
It's
the
all
momentum.
meat.
Well,
He
it's
posts
the
meat.
momentum builder community that kind of helped me with this as we've gone through, because one of the things is Don and I are students of this community, right? We're not just, we put it together so that we could learn.
Right.
And so every time we have one
From
of
the
these meetings,
best.
every week we're learning. And I'm like, people want authenticity
Mhm.
and people want vulnerability. So I shared a picture last week of my son and I sitting on the couch on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, that was cute.
And I got a shitload of fucking likes. And the thing is,
It's a technical term.
that's very technical.
Very technical.
But the thing is, and then the next week I posted a picture of barbecue because that's what I do. And somebody said to me, they're like, it's funny, I was scrolling through my feed and they go, and I saw a piece of meat. And she goes, it's probably Gino. And it was. And so like now I know that people are associating my posts that I'm making. And I'm like, this is it. I got it. I'm on something now.
Okay, dude, this is it. Like literally what you're just talking about. That's what I tell people. Again, the timing is just impeccable. I talked to an executive yesterday who's like, well, Josh, I love to cook. I love fine dining, but isn't it so cliche to be sharing like fine dining or food or barbecue? People don't care about that. I'm like, that's exactly what people care about. People don't care about mortgages. People
Nobody
don't
wants
care.
to know that rates went up on May 1st. Nobody gives a shit.
No, people
They
don't care what FHA is doing. Like even mortgage professionals, we roll our eyes when we see this shit. It's like, who cares? Like, it's like, oh, here we go, another change. But Gino, to your point,
especially love it when they post that there's a 40-year FHA mortgage.
right? Like it's just
We're
like,
like,
oh,
there isn't one. Oops.
no, but Gino, this is exactly it. And that's why I tell people is use the platforms to build those relationships, whatever it is. And to your point, use Facebook and Instagram together. You can absolutely be sharing the same content because you can link them. Why would you not use two separate platforms when you can link them? You can share the same content. Like it just totally makes sense to do so. And there are people that hang out on Instagram that don't hang out on Facebook. There are people that hang out on Facebook that don't hang out on Instagram. So
I spend a lot more time on Instagram personally.
well, that's what I mean.
And then
Is
remember,
so
my Instagram is public, so I have strangers on my Instagram. I don't have
Of
strangers
course.
on Facebook, right? So to me,
so
they're
the-
two different databases.
Exactly. So why not be sharing that content? Now, if you're getting into the world of YouTube and again of LinkedIn and TikTok, yeah, then you start to differentiate, you start to diversify your content a little bit. But I tell people that's down the road. You need to get consistent with one or two, get really good at Facebook and Instagram, get consistent. Because people tell me when they join Shred U, especially too, we do a one-on-one call right out the gate with all of our Shred U members. And it's like, okay, Don, tell me about like, how often are you posting right now? And most people are like, well, I'm posting once a week. And we have all their platforms pulled up. We're looking at them and I'm like, you're not really posting. Like you say you're posting once a week, but, and I'm like, okay, but
how many calls did you make this week? Oh, I called like 50 people. No, you didn't.
Right?
Your phone records. Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, but how many times do you want to be posting? And they're like, oh, I want to be posting once a day. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I love it. I love that you're anxious about this and excited about it, but you're not going to start posting once a day. You're not ready for that. It's going to overwhelm you. Let's start with 3 times a week. Let's really get you comfortable with 3 times a week. And then let's ramp it up. Again, this Gary Vaynerchuk approach of like posting 5 times a day is literally not obtainable. And I love Gary. Like I love Gary. He's one of my absolute mentors. I've interviewed him before. Super awesome guy. But for somebody, everybody listening here, trying to post 5 times a day is just not going to happen. But 3 times a week, absolutely, you can make that happen. You can create a video if you have a plan, if you have a schedule, if you know what you're going to be creating. It is very doable to be creating 3 pieces of content in a week. Now, that's not including the stories. I think stories are one of those things that you should be sharing. And for all those who don't know, the difference between a story and a reel or a post, a story is the very short form content. If you pull up, again, I'm just a practitioner, so I'm just all going to show y'all.
No, let us know what the difference is.
This is good
important.
because
So you see this right here at the top of my feed. This is your stories. That's a very, very top thing. You see those little circles. Same thing. It's the very first thing you see when you pull up Facebook. It's the very top top thing you see up there. It's what the platforms are pushing right now. And stories are this. We're going to do a story. You've all seen me do this. If you've ever seen me speak, I do this a lot because, again, I'm a practitioner of it. But what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hanging out with the legendary Don and Gino over Momentum Build, planning the new upcoming year of Momentum Builder 24. You're going to love it. You're going to be there. We hope to see you then. Just did it. Look, that's a story. This is the behind the scenes. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to transcribe it.
So I wish I would have just done the story right now, because the housekeeping girl just came to our hotel room.
Oh, there you go, dude. That would have been a great
story. I'd be like, hey, we're on the middle of our call and check out the housekeeping girl. I told her to come back in an hour.
There you go. But here's the thing, guys. So that took me less than 10 seconds. It's a behind the scenes look. Was it perfect? Was the audio awesome? Probably not. Was it a little bit off? Yes, it was, but I don't care. It's a behind the scenes look. Stories are designed for that. You guys should be doing stories upon stories upon stories. Every single day. Those are the things that just happen. They're in the moment. Plus, they're here today, gone tomorrow. Literally, stories are gone within 24 hours unless you save them to your phone.
Reels is what you're saying.
You bet. Like, there you go. Like, this is stories are a great behind the scenes. It's sharing to your community of what's going on in your daily life. It's your journey. It is your story. That's why they call it stories. Your reels are the ones, if you go to my Instagram page, Dal posted it here. They're the ones that they take a little bit more. Every single one I'm putting captions to, which I'm going to give you guys a little insight to. Dal, our director of content, some of the things that we share for our Shared You community, we give you the insights you need to know. Dal and I on our weekly call for our Shared You community talked about this week. Did you guys know that 80% of Instagram users watch Instagram on mute? 80% of Instagram users watch it on mute. So if you're not adding captions, go open your Instagram right now. The best of the best. So here's Dave Ramsey on mine. He has captions. He has, you can see what they're saying. You should be using captions on every reel or video post on Instagram, unless it's a story, because the story's here and in the moment, and you don't need to worry about it.
So on that note, let's talk about that for one second, Josh, because the reality of the matter is, for very busy people like Don and myself, and I'll speak for myself, I don't know about Don, but the only time that I get to watch reels is right before I go to bed.
Sure.
Okay? I don't have time during the day to be watching reels. I really don't. I got a million other things to do. We're building our team. We're building Momentum Builder. We got all these other business things that we're doing. But at night, when I'm about to go to bed and I want to veg a little bit, that's when I look at my reels. And listen, my wife's trying to get to bed, so I need to read the captions. I can't have it on audio, and I'm not going to put headphones in before I go to bed. So 100% you're spot on. You have to have captions, and they're not perfect, and it's okay.
Yeah, 100%. And Dal even said, no captions, we're not watching it. We're just not. How many people, funny enough you mentioned this, I was talking to a top producer yesterday who just joined Shred You. He said the exact same thing that you did, Gino. He's like, I only watch Instagram right before I go to bed. I'm usually laying next to my wife. And I'm like, y'all got to get better hobbies with your wives, because y'all got to step up the game. But that's aside from,
it PG, bro.
I know,
is that a different part of Shred You University?
Different part of Shred You. We go into a very deep dive on that side, but literally
that's the advanced levels?
That's the advanced levels, ladies and gentlemen, but we're all going to get there anyway. But we're all watching them at different times of the day. Or how many of you are watching them during a business meeting when you're on Zoom on one side and you're watching Instagram on the other? We all watch it on mute. So you have to have captions on your videos. And so many people are like, well, how do I add captions? Like, adding captions is you got to have an app to do that and that. No, it's simple. You can do it inside the app. Instagram literally has it built in that you can do it. But there's even a couple apps out there that we teach that simply you can download them. It transcribes it beautifully. It highlights the word. It can add emojis for you. Captions are becoming a thing that are absolutely critical to all your videos, but too many people overthink them. They don't know how to do them. And that's what Shred You was designed for. It's the how-tos. It's the 101s. Because even, Gino, I love that you mentioned this. You guys are practitioners, but even that you're practitioners, there's still things you're learning. You're still trying to get better at. And that's what communities are all about. That's what the Shred You community was designed for. It's like, how do we teach each other? That's what Momentum Builders community, that's what you are all here for. It's a community to surround yourself with like-minded people and to learn from people who are just one step ahead of you. I'm not a master. I'm not Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm just one step ahead of you. So now I can teach you what I've learned so you can go teach your realtors. Like, you can show, go ahead.
Yeah, so I gotta ask a question because I think
Yeah.
people overthink content, and I think you grazed it right now when you talked about stories, and I think that's something where we need to talk a little bit about content and what it is. So don't overthink it, because remember, we touched on this for what, maybe the last 3 years. Authenticity is the most important thing.
Oh yeah.
So how do I, if I've never, let's talk to someone that's never had really a content. Like, look, like I said, all of us have had, like you said, you're one step ahead of us. We're one step ahead of most. What about someone that's starting today? What do they do? What is a person that's never really done social media and they just want to do something? What do they do?
Oh, find whatever you are most passionate about, which
Oh.
is not mortgage. It is not mortgage. If you think it's mortgage, you're lying to yourself. You are not,
Or you have a problem.
or you have a like deranged problem, because again,
I
I'm not
love
saying
mortgage. I love mortgage.
I'm not saying your career is a bad thing. And I'm not trying to be, again, mortgage professional, licensed loan officer, I'm a licensed LO still to this day, but mortgage is not your passion. And it's so hard because I could give you, funny enough, again, and Dal could even attest to this. I literally, on our call with Cross Country, we showed them how to create over 100 ideas for content in under 10 minutes. So we literally came up with a list of over 100 ideas for content in under 10 minutes. And we showed them how to use simply Google and Chat GPT to do it in under 10 minutes. And we gave them this huge list. But to your point, Gino, none of you should be worried about mortgage content right now. If you want to get started today, you have to find something that you can comfortably talk about for days and days and days, whether that's crocheting, whether that's maybe it's Las Vegas. Maybe you live in Las Vegas and you know the cool things to do around Las Vegas. Maybe it's barbecue. Maybe you are a huge smoke, like you love to smoke meats and you're really good at it. Maybe it's,
or some people like to ride, dirt bikes.
Motocross. Like if you're a motocross guy like Don, and maybe
Dude,
you love to take a part
Carlos,
of
who's not on this call, but I'm going to call him out and I'm going to send him this video. He's jujitsu, dude. That's pretty cool. Tell people.
Okay. I'm gonna
when you let people into your life,
100%. Okay. Here's my story. For those who haven't heard my story, you're gonna, if you haven't heard, if you've heard it before, sorry, you're gonna hear it again. But this is my story. And to Gino's point, so I love the outdoors. I live in the rural mountains of Utah. I mean, you can see I have a deer antler behind me. I have guns. I have pheasants. Like I love the outdoors. I love hiking, biking, fishing. I love being outdoors. Early on in my mortgage career, very early on, I said I want to be outdoors all the time. I don't want to be doing mortgages. I want to surround myself with more outdoors people. So I started this brand. And again, it was terrible branding at the time, but I didn't know any better. I called myself the Outdoor LO. Nobody knew what an
Time out.
Yep.
It's not terrible. We have a good friend of ours, Sean Herrero, speaker at Momentum Builder, the Adventure Lender.
Yep, you bet.
That's what he does.
See, but the Adventure Lender is way better than the Outdoor LO. Nobody knew what an LO was back in the day, but it didn't matter. I was just that guy. So I started the Outdoor LO, and all I did, no joke, was get here in Utah. I started a mountain bike group, riding group on Facebook. I just started to say, hey, I'm going to go ride up here in Draper. Who's going to come join me on the trail? I started a hiking group. I started a fishing group. I started a paddleboard. Like I just started more and more of these groups, and I said, hey, who's going to come hang out with me? I kid you not, within about 6 months, we had probably 70 people in this mountain biking group. And the top guy in this group was a real estate agent. And him and I met him through this group that I started as the Outdoor LO. Him and I went on to do hundreds of transactions together. Hundreds of mortgage transactions together, top realtor in the state. And he's just like, dude, and it was all through mountain biking. And literally we were on one of our rides one day. I'm like, hey, dude, you're like, I didn't even know he was a top agent until somebody told me. They're like, you know, Sean's like a top realtor, right? And I'm like, what? I had no idea. I did a quick interview with him at the top of the mountain. Like, hey, here riding with Sean, having a great time. If you ever have questions about real estate, Sean's your guy. I posted him in a video. And that was back in the day. This was 6, 7, 8 years ago. And they're like, he was ecstatic about it. And again, I won his relationship over simple mountain bike riding. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're trying to tell you here. Whatever your hobbies are, whatever your interests are, start there. If you think you're going to start
how many competitors would I have motocrossers that are LOs? And
so few.
So anybody that likes dirt bike riding, they know I freaking do mortgages. They're coming to me.
Oh, 100%.
Because we're a fraternity.
Yep.
Basically that's what you're talking about is you'll find out that like everybody that likes cooking digs on Gino because he's like, what's he cooking today? Because he posts all his freaking stuff. So I get what you're saying is do something that you're passionate about. And people are like, when I post something about mortgages, I'm updating people. I'm letting them know what's going on just so they're informed and they know I'm informed. And every once in a while, you know, you got to let them know what you do. So I'm going to ask you on that, because when I post something about motocross, I get all kinds of likes and input. But how do you let people know what you do? Because we've also ran into the problem where we had somebody that did not let people know what they did.
You bet.
And once they did, everybody that he golfed with went, I didn't know you were a freaking lender. I golf with you every single week, but I never knew what you did. And he doubled his volume from his golf crew because they knew, oh, you're a lender. That's what you do.
Oh, this is,
I mean, years next to these people and never got a deal.
okay.
And
See,
through social media, they became aware that he was a lender.
there you go.
Actually finally told them what he did for a living, because on the golf course, you don't want to talk about work, right? You're there. It's your disconnect from work sometimes. So he didn't want to promote his business there. But then when you have them on your socials and now you promote it on your socials, it was able to bridge the gap and connect
100%.
the personal and the business to make it one thing.
It's the jab, 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 right hook. If you've ever read the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk, it's literally this. What we're talking about is once you've learned your opponent, once you've thrown those jabs and they've kind of like, again, now you've learned your opponent, they've learned you a little bit, then now's the time to throw that right hook to knock them out. You've gained, if you've been hanging out with your community, you've been hanging out with your golf buddies, if you've been providing valuable content on social media for time and time and time again, you can throw in there like, hey, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I am the top mortgage professional here in the state of Utah. If you ever have mortgage questions, reach out to me. And it can be that simple. You don't need to be updating them on FHA. You can simply just be like, and I actually, funny enough, in our Shred You call earlier, or actually last week that I was doing a training on, is I told them, I'm like, at the end of the video, you can throw in there like, and by the way, if you ever need mortgage help, I'm your man. Like it can be something simple like that.
What about the art of the tease, right? I feel like sometimes
of course
one of the problems that because as you are, but because of radio, we learned the art of the tease, right? The problem is when you're talking about all this detail, people are like vomiting detail on social media.
And nobody's listening anyway.
Nobody wants to hear all that shit. Honestly, they just don't. So it's just like, hey, you know what? There's a lot of changes coming in the mortgage industry right now. We're not going to get into all the details because it's probably a 1-hour conversation. So just hit me up and we'll talk.
Or it could be, hey, I have a really good idea where interest rates are going. If you want to find out more, let me know.
Right. Yeah. It's the art of the tease.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's like maybe content 2.0.
It absolutely could. And I love that you say content 2.0. There's a couple of people out there who do really well with talking rates. And if you guys are familiar with Min Win, What's a Mortgage, he does a fantastic job out on Instagram talking rates, but he has to do it. And him and I have had this conversation. He has to do it all the time because his community is expecting. Yeah. Neil Dinger is like, you have to do it all the time. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I would rather have an actual conversation. Sure. You can put out content. Like you said, Don, hey, things are changing a lot. You have questions, reach out to me. I would much rather have that one-on-one engagement, because if I put out a piece of content doing that, hey, reach out to me. Now it's again to the many, and now the few are going to be the ones who actually are great opportunities for me to connect with. Those who actually reach out, those are good, high quality leads, opportunities, whatever you want to call it.
Not that FHA MIP went down, so they understand what that even means.
No.
So I think we just touched on something that's really important. Before you put content out, think about what are you trying to achieve?
Bingo.
I think a lot of people don't think about what are they trying to achieve. And, it's like sales 101. What am I trying to achieve? I'm trying to achieve a phone call. I'm trying to achieve a meeting. It's usually about the meeting. That's all I want to achieve. So how do I get to a meeting? And so is it, like you said, maybe it is a ribeye, a picanha, a short rib, and bam. Then I go throw in a mortgage thing and I say, call me. Right?
Dude,
that's jab, 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 right hook.
My formula is 7-to-1. You should be posting 7 pieces of personal content to 1 piece of business.
All right.
That's
Did everybody
right
hear
there.
that? Everybody hear that?
That was it.
People
No,
call
no.
me all the time. They're like, no way. And I'm like, seriously, like you should be posting seven. And personal content, it could be you at the office. Like it could be something like a story of you chilling at the office with your processor doing something stupid in the background. Like that, it just doesn't have to be business. It can't be that right hook all the time. If you're throwing the right hook all the time, people start to tune you out. Think of the people that are talking about mortgages, and all of you know them, you eventually tune them out. Like, and that's why I'm going to give you, you all are going to, and I'm going to piss off some people here, but I'm okay with it. There's a reason why some of your big influencers, the Neil Dingras, the Min Wins, they have to keep growing their community because people tune them out because it's the same shit. They're like, oh, mortgage again, like rates again. And most people just don't care. That's why they got to keep growing their audience. All you need is 1,000 people. All you need is a good 1,000 people in your community. You're going to crush it forever. So when somebody comes to me and says, oh, I need to keep growing, I need to get more followers. You don't need followers. You need community members. Like community is everything. Like literally, if you've got a good community surrounding you, you will always be the most successful mortgage person you ever want to be. You don't need 100,000 followers. You don't need 1 million followers. You just don't. I promise you. I've seen some of the most successful people, not only in mortgage, but in other mediums and other careers with 1,000 followers. You just don't need it. So stop thinking you need
That's
it. But
refreshing.
That's
Refreshing because everybody thinks they need 50,000 followers and all that type of stuff. We know if you build a tight community that understands what you do and how you can add value to them and that you're one of them.
Yeah.
Just like us and our momentum builder community, you know, like you, Josh, that's why we love you to death. And why we ask you to be part of the community and ask for your advice is you're in an industry like us. We are not on the outside looking in. We literally do loans on a regular basis with our team. We're in the industry, trying to, in the grind, carrying the flag in the trenches. And that's why we bring people like you and Todd Duncans and Barry Aviz to give value so we can all as a community figure out how to do is the best we can. How to get to the other side.
So for me, Josh, Roland Cochran brought that to light in my mind. He's like, listen, are you ever gonna get a mortgage from a person in India or somewhere else on the planet?
No.
He's like, no, it doesn't matter. So he's like, so why the hell do you want likes from those people? He goes, the only person that matters is the one that's going to give you a deal. He's like, so even if you have 500 people that are going to give you a deal, it's better than 5 million people that don't do shit.
Bingo. And it's a vanity metrics thing. It really is. Oh, I need to have more followers. As a matter of fact, you want to see somebody who puts their money where their mouth is? We did. We just deleted my main account. I'm starting at 0 again to prove it can
do that, Dow? Was it your fault? You just like, let's get rid of that?
No.
Hey, I love it when things happen by mistake and you're like, don't worry, we got this.
No, we did it on purpose. We announced it and everything. We said, we're deleting this account because so many people think, we had over 35,000 followers on our account. And I'm like, we're deleting, we're shutting this account down to prove to all of you that these vanity metrics are not important. And plus you can start at 0 today and work your way up and still have an incredibly impactful community. You don't need tens of thousands of followers. And the only people who actually need any type of big community like that are your influencers, because like I said, they have to continue to turn through them. They have to continue to add to you as a mortgage professional. You can have a very small community and be incredibly successful.
So those people like that we're keeping ours down to like at our momentum builder in our group, like the event will have 600 max. That's it. Because we want the people that are leaning in, not the people that go in there just the party. Believe me, there'll be a party because we like to work hard and play hard. But we want those that are leaning in. The good news about this year, because it was so tough for anybody to even go, because, we've had the worst 6 months we've had in quite some time. But those who showed were in, like they showed 100%. Up every day at 8 a.m. and they stayed the entire time. They networked with the others going, hey, how are you surviving right now? What are you doing to get business? Are you having the same challenges I'm having? And if so, what are you doing about it? And then the networking, the community was huge. I mean, it was a big piece, and now it made us, enlightened us. And I know you said it, and a lot of speakers said the same thing. Being part of it, they're like, we like this small community. I can actually engage with those individuals versus this plethora of a bunch of people that I don't engage with. Now I can engage directly with these individuals and have an impact and feel the impact because you felt it. You guys were saying, I like this. This is a community, not just me sitting up on stage and me walking off.
Yeah, it's so much deeper. It's so much more meaningful than that. That's why, like, I think it's what you guys are building here. I've been to a lot of events. I've spoken on a lot of stages, but there are different events, and Momentum Builder is a different event. It is a community. I can honestly say that. I can say this is one of the few events that are actually, you can't even call it an event. It is a community. It's a gathering of like-minded people who are coming together to make one another better. And that's what it's all about. Like, that's what gets me really excited. Donnie's comment, like fit to fat to fit again. Yeah, it's like that journey, Don. Actually, Drew
Donnie,
Manning.
talk about my life.
Drew's a good friend. He actually lives here in Utah.
Again. It's all good.
It's so much easier to show for your people than just showing. Yeah, you really, any of you who are going on this journey, and some of you, maybe you've already started it, maybe you want to get really into it now, you have to be doing it for the right reasons. And I tell people this a lot, especially when people join our Shred You community. You can't do it just for your business. I know that is your ultimate goal, is you want to grow your business. But if you are just trying to build a brand and grow your business for the business sake, you're going to get burned out. It's going to be one more task for you. You have to share the things in your life that mean something, that are actually going to build those relationships. I promise you, I've seen it far too often, is you can't just use it as a business building tool. That's not what social media was purely created for. Sure, the metas of the world and the LinkedIn and the YouTube, it's all about ads, and it is very business oriented. But if you are just focused on business all the time, again, I'm not saying you can't. There's a time to throw that right hook. Absolutely. Plus, you are serving your community. You, as a mortgage professional, you have knowledge and expertise. You can serve homeowners. You're helping people achieve that dream of homeownership. You want to do that. But if that is your pure MO, if that is your first thing that you're trying to do is build your business on social media, you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to disappoint your community. You're going to burn them out so quickly. They're going to be like, I'm tired of this guy. Like, I'm tired of this gal. All she ever talks about is mortgage. I don't care.
You know what's cool, dude, is, sometimes when you get into a state of mind, and I think that's what these events are about, right? We didn't have an agenda, right? Today, we're just having a conversation. And that makes for the best things in the world. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you and I'm like, so many people are talking about personal brand. Right? I think personal brand is like a buzzword right now. Mm-hmm. What's your personal brand? What's your personal brand? And I'm listening to you and what the conversation we had. And I'm like, I had this stupid enlightening moment where I'm like, your personal brand is you, dude. Just be yourself. And the people that want to work with you will work with you because they like you. And that's the right kind of people to work with.
Gino, you literally I try to instill this within everybody. Your brand is all it is. Like, it's not a logo. It's not a slogan. It's not, I love you to say it's some buzzword, because it really is. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's your reputation.
That's a good point.
That is what your brand is. Easy, Gino. Easy. That's how you should be thinking. How are you creating? What are people, after that transaction is done, what are people saying about you? Did you create an experience? Did you create a relationship where people are going to be like, Gino, that was amazing. I got to see his barbecue experiences, his hanging out with his buddy Don. Like, he loves doing these things. He's always doing these fun and engaging things. That's what I'm going to remember. That's what is going to continue me coming back time and time again. So the mortgage transaction.
Tony was put in a comment here. Like, Tony called me before Momentum Builders. Like, hey man, my mom's sick and I can't make it. I'd love to be there. Like, dude, no problem. Like, refund. No questions asked. Like, this is not an event. This is not I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's not a business. This is our community. And Don, like you said, it's your legacy, right? Like, Don's good to this. Like, and I'm going to just go out there.
With Donnie Tuttle, who's my business coach, he's like, I can't teach you, after 35 years, he's like, I can't teach you a whole lot about mortgage. He goes, you have a team that you teach? He goes, so what do you want in your life? What do you want for your legacy after 35 years? And I told him Momentum Builder, and it wasn't that name at that time. It was, I want everybody to have the resources that Gino and I had that took us from being challenged in this industry and feeling alone to having all the resources to enjoy, like, and succeed in this business, meaning having the tools, the coaching, the people, the community, all these things that changed my career from wanting to quit the business to loving the business. Yes. Do we have challenges in business?
Even now,
God knows. But without a community and people like you, Josh, to help us get through it, it's tough. It's that much more tough.
but remember,
But we're happy.
One
We
of
were
our
talking about
coaches,
this.
one of our coaches, Craig Davis, embrace the suck.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. Embrace the suck. This business sucks right now. It's okay. Embrace the suck and fight for it.
So, Josh, I want this because we love your positivity. We engage with you for a reason on a regular basis. We even just call you or have you open up our shows just because your freaking energy is contagious and it's a beautiful thing. But Gene and I were talking today, and a lot of it, remember, we have a lot of team members. Some of them are on this call. Thank you, guys. Love you, guys and girls. We have the best team, but they know we're leaning in. A lot of people right now are hating life right now, or whining or complaining or bitching about the industry and stuff. And we're actually really, we're more pumped than ever right now. Yes. Do we want more business? Duh. But we know it's on the other side because we're leaning in, our team's leaning in. And as the market picks up, and it always goes up and down in the market. When it picks up, we're going to own it because others are waiting for the industry to come back. And by the time it does, we're going to already own it. They're already going to be thinking of our team, and they're going to be thinking about all the people that go on these calls because we're preparing ourselves to own and take whatever market share is there. We're going to take it. And I'm sure you agree with that philosophy right now because we're actually pumped up. We're high-fiving today. We're pumped about Momentum Builder 2024. We're leaning in.
Dude, here's what you have to be. And this is a great example. I'm going to build off this, Don. And I know we've only got like 9 minutes here.
Yeah.
So all of you, there's 27 people on this call. I guarantee there were way more people. They got this email, they got this invite, but you 27 that are here, you chose to be exactly what Don is talking about. You have to step in. You probably could have been doing something else today. You probably could have been taking this hour and going, but what we've touched on today, some of the practice, I'm all practitioner, as you guys all know. I'm all about doing something. Some of the things we've shared with you today, you need to be going out and doing. You need to be doing the stories, because come here in 6 months, when the industry really starts hopping again, when rates start dropping down, when you want to start crushing it, if you haven't put yourself out there, if you haven't started building your brand, creating the content, providing the value for your communities, somebody else is doing it. Somebody else, if you don't think your community spending time on social media, you're dead wrong. The average human being spends 2 hours a day on social media. So that means if you're not there, they're going to see somebody else through somebody else's interactions, through somebody else's shares, through somebody else's posts. So what we're talking about, and to Don's point, if you're not putting in the work now, somebody else is. Mm-hmm. So why not take the time? You are the 27 people who have showed up today. Keep at it. Start doing these things to build the momentum for the upcoming run. Because if you're not, somebody else is. Somebody else is way more hungry than you. Somebody else is always going to be better than you. So unless you're willing to put in the work now, somebody else is going to kick your ass and you're going to hate it here in the future.
Hey, our buddy Jeff just chimed in that he just showed up late, but let me tell you, we've known Jeff for what, a good decade at least, if not more.
No, I've known him for 2 decades.
Yeah, and he's a stud in the industry, and he's a disciple of the Momentum Builder community. He's on almost every one of these calls, and I love to see that. I feel like we're helping somebody in our community by giving them value every week. So when you're doing your socials and now you're talking about, okay, so I'm going to do 7 posts that are personal and 1 post that's business, make that post count.
Oh, did I
make it valuable? What is the value? It's not the MIP. It's not the 40-year mortgage. It's not any of that. It's how do I solve a problem that the people that are watching my feed most likely have? Hey, are you and now
Savage always tells us that too. Savage.
And I'm bringing
what's the problem that you're fixing? Don't just talk.
So there's the hook, right? Are you drowning in credit card debt? ? If you are, I have solutions for you. Boom, 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 boom. Because right now, credit card debt's at an all-time high. So let's talk about real things. Nobody cares that it is a 40-year mortgage or the MIP's going out and the FHFA. Nobody gives a shit about that. Solve real world problems.
Okay. I'm first thing, all y'all mortgage people, you got to stop using acronyms like FHA, MIP. People have no idea what that shit is. Dal has been my team member for a long time. She's heard the word PMI. I was going to say, I knew it was going to come. She heard the word PMI.
Never heard of her.
Hundreds
It only
of
happens
times.
one time a month, right?
I know, right? Exactly. But she still, we were on a call with all of our mortgage people. She's like, I still don't know what it is. Like nobody's ever, she's like, always hear the word PMI, but nobody's ever defined it. Anyway, stop using acronyms. The second part of what you're talking about, Gino, is yes, you want to solve problems, but I want you, I'm going to get real deep as we end this. One of the biggest problems that you can solve right now is human emotion. The world is in a very dark, we're in a very depressed place. Social media is full of some darks. There are some good things out there too, but you as a human being, one of the problems you can solve is simply share happiness. That's what share happiness, repeat every day, because so many people overthink posting something and they're like, well, is it going to add value? To your point, Gino, is it going to solve a problem? Is it going to help somebody today? One of the things that I get the most joy out of, the one I get the biggest excitement from is when somebody shares something and I see it. It's a post that Don makes that he makes me smile. Because now it's changed my human emotion. Now my endorphins, I'm getting jazzed up because Don just made me smile. You are solving a problem when you are the one sharing something to create new joy, to create new happiness. So please don't hold off on sharing something or stop from posting something because you may not think it's valuable. I literally shared a post from bed the other day. I was terribly sick. If you saw my post, I got my ass kicked by this flu the other day. And I shared a post saying, hey, you know what? Every once in a while, you got to give yourself time to recuperate. I'm giving you the permission to let your body heal. Make it happen. And I had dozens of people saying, you gave me permission to I'm feeling sick. I'm not feeling good. But people are always telling me keep going. Don't stop. Never quit. And I'm like, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to give yourself that time to heal. So don't be scared to share those things that are purely going to create joy and happiness for other people. That may be one of the most valuable things that you can share for your community.
Well, look how easy. I mean, this is what you do.
That's kind of a mic drop.
Yeah, that is a mic drop because Josh, you're the
is
epitome of this.
Yeah.
We can attest to you. It's consistent as the day. This is who you are and this is what you do. So how can they find out more about Shred?
Why do we have Josh open every single one of our events?
Right.
Because it's good for us.
Yeah,
it gets
you.
us pumped up.
100%.
It gets us online. It gets us engaged with our community. That's why we have to have our Josh open our event.
Yeah, you do. And how can they find more? You got Dal on here and stuff. Thank you. Yep.
Dal just posted. That's where go follow us on our new Instagram page. If you want to do me a huge favor.
Giver. This is not you haven't sold once, by the way.
No,
you're not selling. You're like, here's what we do. Here's how we add value. And it's a requirement of our momentum builder tribe. And you know that, Josh, because you love the fact that no one's really allowed to sell. Add value. And if you add value, they'll come find you.
That's it.
I want them to come find you because you add value, buddy. We dig on you. Good.
Actually, that picture, dude, that picture was taken from your guys' event. That was from Momentum Building.
I actually, and you make me smile because Josh, I've seen you guys actually utilize some of the pics from Momentum Builder with you on stage quite a few times. And I'm like, oh, he's using our event again. I love that.
And we always tag you guys. Here, last secret, tag people, tag TG Media, tag Don, tag Gino, tag the members of the team, because